Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of History Hounds and Happy Campers. I'm Amanda, your lead researcher and the person who spends her Friday nights reading 150-year-old property deeds so you don't have to.
And I'm Laura, also known as Mom. I handle the logistics, coffee supply, and I'm the one who makes sure we don't accidentally drive the rig into a vineyard while Amanda is shouting about historical markers.
I only did that once. If you're new to the pack, our mission is simple. We believe that every campsite has a soul. We travel the American road in our rig, looking for the stories that are hidden beneath the gravel pads. We are the bridge between the happy camper lifestyle and the history hound curiosity.
And of course, we have to mention our favorite hound, Lua. She's currently a 90-pound fluffy cloud of Great Pyrenees energy. While she's too big to fit in the sidecar, she's the perfect companion for guarding the camp while we're out investigating the Wild West.
Today, we're bringing you an epic exploration of a site that redefines the modern RV experience. Cava Robles RV Resort in Paso Robles, California. This isn't just a park, it's a portal into the history of the Central Coast.
But before we dive into the mud, the wine, and the outlaws, please do us a huge favor, hit that like button and follow our channel. It helps us keep the rig rolling and the stories coming. To understand why a luxury resort sits on Golden Hill Road today, we have to go back thousands of years. Long before the first Class A motorhome rolled into the valley, the Salinan Native Americans were the stewards of this land. They didn't call it Paso Robles, they called it the Springs. The area was famous among indigenous tribes for its therapeutic thermal waters. The Salinan people knew that the hot sulfur springs bubbling up from the earth had healing properties. When the Spanish Franciscan Padres arrived in the late 1700s to establish Mission San Miguel Archangel, they were quickly enlightened by the Salinan people about the benefits of these mud baths.
Mom, can you imagine a Spanish padre in full robes taking a sulfur mud bath?
I can imagine it was the 18th century version of spa day. The Padres didn't just bathe, they planted. They brought the first wine grapes to the region, utilizing the unique calcareous, calcium-rich soil that today makes Paso Robles one of the premier wine regions of the world.
This is where the history of Paso Robles gets its grit. In 1857, two brothers, Daniel and James Blackburn, purchased the Rancho Paso de Robles Mexican land grant. They had a vision for a planned spa community, but they needed a partner with some serious frontier energy. Enter Drury James. Drury James was a savvy businessman, a rancher, and a future state legislator, but history remembers him for his family tree. Drury was the uncle of the notorious outlaws Frank and Jesse James. The history hound fact: in 1868, after a bank robbery in Kentucky, Jesse James was suffering from a gunshot wound that wouldn't heal. He and Frank fled to California to hide out with their Uncle Drury at his La Pananza Ranch at his hotel in Paso Robles. Legend says the James brothers used the tunnels beneath the town to move unseen. While Jesse was healing in the hot springs, he was likely plotting his next move.
It gives taking the waters a whole new meaning when you're a wanted man. By the early 20th century, the hot springs were world famous, but the valley was finding a new identity. Paso Robles became known as the almond capital of the world. At its peak, there were over 25,000 acres of almond orchards. If you stand at the high point of Cava Robles today, you can still see the ghosts of this agricultural empire in the way the land is terraced.
The almond boom lasted until the 1930s. Poor farming techniques and the rise of the Central Valley irrigation systems eventually shifted the Almond King title north, but it's paved the way for the next great crop: wine. Now let's talk about the site of the resort itself. Cava Robles, which means oak cellar or oak cave, was opened in 2018 as a ground-up development by Sun Communities.
What makes it a history hound site? Is it the way they built it? 80-acre property was designed to wrap around the natural landscape rather than bulldoze it. The developers took great care to preserve the centuries-old valley oaks and coast live oaks that give the town its name, El Paso de Robles, the Pass of the Oaks.
The site description. In the 1800s, this was a vital water source for the cattle ranches that occupied the eastern hills. The architecture, the buildings, like the Farmhouse Bistro, use a rustic contemporary style that mimics the old California ranch houses. It's a nod to the 19th century history of the Blackburn and James era. The experience. Today it offers 74 acres. On that acres, there's 332 RV sites with full hookups. There are 21 cottages, multiple pools, a wellness center. For the happy camper, it's the ultimate base camp for exploring the 250 plus wineries that now dot the landscape where almond trees once stood.
Paso Robles has survived outlaws, earthquakes, and the shift from cattle to almonds to grapes. Cava Robles represents the newest chapter, luxury outdoor hospitality.
We love this spot because it reminds us that camping doesn't have to mean roughing it in a way that ignores the past. When you sit by the fire pit at Cava Robles, you're breathing the same air that the Selenian people did 2,000 years ago, and you're looking at the same hills where Jesse James once rode his horse to evade the law.
And for our 9-month-old Lua, it's a paradise. The resort is incredibly dog-friendly with dedicated parks and trails. At 90 pounds, she needs the space that these rolling hills provide.
Whether you're here for the Cava, the wine, or the Robles, the oaks, this corner of California is a testament to resilience.
Thank you all for joining the pack for this epic deep dive. If you ever stayed at Cava Robles or have a favorite Wild West story from Paso Robles, leave us a comment below.
And remember, like, follow, and share. It's the best way to support our mission of uncovering the history of the road.
Keep your history deep and your trails happy.
We'll see you on the next ridge. Bye.